very sorry. Let's fix that. Because now that I'm looking at it, my volume was way down. There we go. Hopefully that's not blowing out everyone's eardrums now. Hopefully that's way better. Sorry about that. Our rare is the taking over the Blood Avatar. We got a foil. And we have our Japanese Mystic Lair, or Mystic Archive, which I'm going to check what this is. We're going to look in the Mystical Archives. We're going to see what is a 2 and a white for a rare. Hey, we got a rare. That's nice. Let's see here. Where is our set? Strixhaven Mystical Archive. We're looking for a 2 and a blue. This ain't what I think it is it? This ain't what I think it is. No, this is probably compulsive research. Let's see. Yeah, this is compulsive research. Not too bad. The Japanese one's $1.28. But hey, it's compulsive research. I ain't gonna say no to it. We're gonna put the Japanese cards in a little pile down here on the Z's. Let's get started on these draft boosters, shall we? There we go. I broke Saeed's ears. You may remember Saeed from the Digimon stream. God, what was it now? 3 months? 3 months back? Almost 4 months? Jeez. I gotta stream more often. I'm not gonna deny that. Things have been hectic here. Not gonna get too far into it, but Frere's had some health issues that have kept him from putting art in faces or even playing The Sims. I've been working extra. So I'm stuck in that position of I need to stream more so that I can do that instead of work. I can't because I'm working so much. Yep. The cat has just entered the room. I don't know what the cat's... The cat might jump up on here. He has a tendency to do that. Wes.
Oh, he's too big for me to pick.
I'm not expecting you to pick anyone up. Well, it just barely started.
Oh.
What with it only being 6 minutes since I started. Yes. You okay?
I came in and I spaced out.
Okay. You should go sit down.
Okay.
You just had surgery.
Yeah.
I know you're like, no, it's been over a week. No, you just had surgery.
You automatically predicted what I was going to say. Because it was going to be like, it was a week and a half ago, I'm fine.
You are not fine. Fine is not what you are.
Yeah. Especially not after what we just discovered not even an hour
Yes,
ago.
exactly. What is an endless loop there, Wanderlusting 82? I'm a little lost on that.
Oh, the endless loop of wanting to...
Oh, yeah, I could see that. I want to stream, but I need to work for money, and I want to stop working, but I need to stream. And right now I'm stuck on the working side. It's very similar to I want to have a good credit score, but for that I need a good credit card, but to get a good credit card I need a good credit store. Yes, please, everyone, tell me in the chat how much Frere should heal from their legal knife fight. The voluntary stabbings. Because remember,
They took an organ out of me.
stabbing is only okay in 3 scenarios: surgery, consensual knife play, and of course, knife monopoly. I guess Mumbledy-Peg. You know what? No, there's a 4th one. It's Mumbledy-Peg.
Mumbledy-Peg?
Mumbledy-Peg. Mumbledy-Peg is a game from 1863. It was very popular with young men at the time, in which they would take a knife between their index and forefinger, very similarly to this. They wouldn't cut themselves.
No, I know. I don't know why that made me just automatically go squeak.
And then they would launch it at their feet as hard as they could without hitting your foot. The winner was the one who got closest to their foot.
Oh, that game.
Without hitting themselves.
Oh, I thought that was just a different form of chicken.
And it is very similar to this, Classic. The knife is closed. I don't want to violate Twitch guidelines. Volunteer drugging and cutting. Yes.
Yep. Completely healed is preferred. Yes.
Please tell Frere to be completely healed. There is a whole ass organ missing, and not even like an appendix.
No.
It's one of those ones most people want to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to take out more. I can find out in 2 days.
Yes, they took out a whole football-sized tumor with it.
They did!
It was the size and shape of a Nerf ball.
Yes.
Which I do not have, so imagine I'm holding one, and that it's the perfect example of what we're discussing. So anyway, over here I put the packs to the side so we could show off our 5 main characters. Sorry, Killian, you got in the glare there. Good, thank you. And now Rufa feels like she's too important, so we're going to move her down. So this is Strixhaven. The setting of Strixhaven is a wizard school. It is not based on every British preparatory academy ever, and it's not written by a TERF. So in many ways, better than Harry Potter. Now, our 5 schools are, we're actually going to start from Witherbloom, represented here by Dina, who is a member of Witherbloom, is all about life and death, and the push and pull of that. Quintorius here is our representative of Lorehold, which is the school of archaeomancy, and that's all about, does society shape people, or do people shape society? Zamone is from the school of, what did they call it in Strixhaven? I mean, I know it's Quandrix, but it is numeromancy. And numeromancy is the idea of, does nature influence math, or does math influence nature? So we have that going. Killian is from the school of Silverquill. And we're calling them schools because Strixhaven is a college. So these are the majors. Silverquill is the school of eloquence. And eloquence is, do you use words to build up or to tear down? And then Rufa is from Prismari, which is elemental art. And theirs is art more about creativity, or is it more about calculation? Is it about being perfect, or is it about inspiration? And so those are our dichotomies, and all of the schools are based on dichotomies. If you were to compare them to real-life majors, Dina's a science major, Quintorius is a history major, Zamone's a math major, Killian's a debate or English major, and Rufa is an art major. And we are going to end with their 5 packs, these 5 packs that I pulled out, specifically because it is the 5 of them. And each of them has their own story. Dina was a dryad who lost her whole forest. Quintorius is a Loxodon who wants to use archaeomancy to find the lost Loxodon Empire and homeland. Zamone is a child math prodigy whose grandmother potentially solved the hardest mathematical equation ever, but her grandmother went insane, and so she's trying to solve the same equation without the same fate befalling her. Killian's father is one of the 2 deans of Silverquill. Hello again, Wesley the cat. He keeps pushing the door open. I'm fine with him being in here. I'm just afraid of him jumping up here at some point. He typically doesn't do it if I'm sitting here. Anyway, Killian's father is one of the deans, or one of the teachers. I can't exactly remember which, but basically he's under a lot of fucking pressure. And Rufa wants to be the best artist like no one ever was. But we're going to start cracking these packs open, because we have pussyfooted around for 12 minutes now. We're not going to do that. Cat, stop digging through my trash. There's no wrappers in there yet, really. No. You don't need to take the trash. Don't pick him up, you'll hurt yourself.
No, go.
Okay.
I didn't pick him up. I did pick him up last night because he wouldn't leave my room.
Oh, okay.
And he was being a shit. He was being a shit.
He's a little shit sometimes. He's a brat. You're a brat. You are.
He was messing with Tango.
Okay, you know what? Here's what I am. Can I get a hold of you? Can I get a hold of you? Show all the nice people on stream? No. Okay. You're going to have to follow Frere's TikTok to see lots of Wes. I sometimes will post the pets. but I think only Riker and Whiskey ever really pose for me.
Yeah.
And most of my stuff's gaming stuff anyway, but what else would you expect from me?
Well, so I'm putting this out there. I'm getting real tired of him biting indentations into my bedpost.
I'm tired of him biting indentations into me when I just try to give him loving stritches. Because Riker and Whiskey and Cassie don't do that. Only Wes does. You get 3 pets in, and then it's but with his teeth.
I love that, but there might be.
Anyway, so our first spell is Reject. It is a blue counter spell. It goes after creatures and planeswalkers. It's attacks, so they pay 3 if they want to keep casting it. If this spell is countered this way, exile it. Oh, hello, Wes. Hello, do you want to be famous? No, you left. He almost came up on the table. He was right here, right off the side. All right, we have Charge Through. Oh, sorry. So yeah, this one is a Reject. If you reject a spell, meaning they don't want to pay the additional 3, it gets exiled, so they don't even get to bring it back. Charge Through. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. Draw a card. Single green mana instant. This is based on Mage Tower, which is the sport for this one. Instead of a game where Harry Potter matters the most. Sorry, a game where the Seeker matters the most. This is Capture the Flag, but with the college mascots. So you're running as hard as you can with, like, a whole-ass little worm critter under your arm. Very fun. We have Enthusiastic Study. Though this spell is on itself, it's fine. Gives a creature +3/+1 and trample until end of turn. It's a good combat instant. It also has Learn. Learn lets you reveal a lesson, or... and so the lesson is a card you keep outside of your deck, and now you can show it off and put it into your hand. Or you can discard a card and then draw a card. And what both of those are expressing is that Learn, when you pull a lesson, is you learned a lesson. And if you didn't learn a lesson, you learned time management. By throwing away a lesson you didn't need. I do love the flavor text on these. So, like, this one is, Grux, for the last time, you have to do more than simply shout, apply at the administrators. That one's fun. Charge Through is, what a move, Lorehold gets caught flat-footed and Witherbloom barrels ahead. That's fine. It's just normal sports chatter. But Enthusiastic Studies is the best one so far. If the pen's mightier than the sword, just think what a giant tome could do. We got the card we got that I didn't know what it was, where Killian's dad's disappointed in him. It's called Crushing Disappointment. Each player loses 2 life, you draw 2 cards. Most students could barely endure Dean Ambrose's scrutiny for a semester or 2. Killian lived with it his entire life. Killian is a poor baby. Killian needs help there. We have Waterfall Aerialist. She is a Djinn wizard. And this pulls into my favorite part with Strixhaven, is that not every wizard's human. And while we got to see a little bit of that in the works of Miss Rowling, at Hogwarts they're all basically human. One of the teachers is a centaur, and Hagrid's part giant, but whatever. Everyone's human. But here, you have, like, genies, and ifrits, and orcs, and elephant men, and dryads, and merfolk, all learning magic together. And I think that's really cool. Hey, our first white card, we got Steady Break. Tap up to 2 target creatures and learn for 1 and a white. You've been cramming all night. You're taking a nap whether you like it or not. That feels really fun. Got an Artifact and Campus Guide. 2 mana for a 2/1. Enters the battlefield. Search your library for a basic land. Reveal it. Shuffle and put that card on top of your library. And it's just a cute little robot who helps you. And we have Teach by Example, which is a hybrid card. It is half red, half blue. And this lets you copy your next spell. That's really neat. We got Cram Session, which is, this one's black and green as a hybrid. It's one in a hybrid. You gain 4 life and learn. Sure. We have a Colorless with Introduction to Prophecy. That symbol in the upper left-hand corner there means it is a lesson. It also says lesson down on the type line. Oh yeah, now you're in focus for everything. Come on, camera. There we go. And so we have colorless spells, because at Strixhaven, you do not get a color, or even a college, until your second year. Your first year, you're a gray cloak, and you learn gray spells. So this one's 3 mana to scry 2 and draw a card. It's not great, but if you have the 3 mana to burn and you really need a card, that lets you control it. For our uncommons, we have the Tenured Ink Caster. 2/2 Vampire Warlock for 4 and a black. Whenever it's the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Whenever a creature you control with +1/+1 counter on it attacks, each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. We have the Detention Vortex. That's how in trouble you are. You don't go to the detention room, you go to the Detention Vortex. Single white, enchant non-land permanent. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block. Its activated abilities can't be activated. And then pay 3, destroy Detention Vortex. Only your opponents may activate this ability, only as a sorcery. So that's why it's such a cheap removal spell, is your opponents can pay 3 to get rid of it. You cast that on, like, turn 1, turn 2, yeah, they're screwed. We have a Lorehold Apprentice. Red and white for a 2/2 Human Cleric with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, until end of turn, spirit creatures you control get tapped. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's fun. We have the Prismari Command. So 1 and a blue-red for a choose 2. It can deal 2 damage to any target. You can make somebody draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. You can make somebody create a treasure. You can destroy an artifact. And you can make them do any 2 of those. We got Rowan's Emblem, which is fine. Emblem cards, for the most part, just turn into... I'm going to hold on to this for a while. The cat is jumping around on the soundboard. Now, thankfully, I'm not using the soundboard today. Oh, and our Mystic Archive is Agonizing Remorse. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, or a card from their graveyard. Exile that card. You lose a life. So we're going to... I'm going to put the Mystic Archives right here. I think that's the best place for them. We're just going to keep on going. Now, of course, as is tradition, if we start getting to duplicates of cards, I'm going to skip them. There's not necessarily, I might forget that one's a duplicate, but if I do not forget, then we're going to skip that card. Yes, I am using a knife dangerously close to these cards. Excuse you for hiccuping. Oh, here we go. The draft archetypes, there's only 5 in this. In the cube, there will be 5 minor archetypes, but you'll have to discover them. They are going to be the allied colors. There's an elemental token. Every school has its own mascot. And for Prismari, it's elementals, and they look like deer. We have the Springmane Servant. It's an elk with... It's Deerling's evolution. Sawsbuck from Pokemon. It's Spring Sawsbuck. We have a Blood Age General, which is a Spirit Warrior. If you tap it, make your spirits better. Red-White has a Spirit Tribal sub-theme, which is kind of neat. We have the Unwilling Ingredient. It's a 1/1 frog with Menace, 2 and a black, exile it from your graveyard, draw a card and you lose a life. Let me double check here. I don't know what you're referring to, Infinity V. Please explain. For Mariachi Elite, is the Charms Teacher a small human or goblin / halfling? There is no Charms Teacher.
No, he's talking about from Harry Potter.
I know he's talking about from Harry Potter, and he's comparing it to Strixhaven. What we do have is we have the 10 Deans. And if we pull a Dean card, I will be happy to show them off and explain what their deal is. Because at Strixhaven, each college is centered around a specific school of magic, but you still learn from all of them. And instead of a hat, you pick where you go. There's no choosy hat here. I know what I called it. I like the Owl House. Anyway, we have Serpentine Curve. So, neat part with the blue-green spells for the Quandrix is each one makes you calculate for X in a different way. So, what is you get a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature. You put X +1/+1 counters on it. But X, in this case, is 1 plus the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. Other fractal creatures will look for X in different ways. We have... Oh, and the thing is math bites, and it makes a big cobra. It's clever. We have Mage Duel, which costs 2 less if you've cast another instant or sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+2 until end of turn. Then it fights. Ageless Guardian, so we got a 1/4 Spirit. Not bad. Prismari Campus. The campuses are our dual lands, our common dual lands. So this is where Prismari students get to hang out most of the day. Mage students who see spellcraft as the highest form of expression choose Prismari. We have Oggyar Battleseer, which is a big old Mean Ogre. We have a Spectacle Mage. Flying instant sorcery spells you cast with mana value 5 or greater. Cost 1 less to cast because Prismari cares about how big a spell is. Introduction to Annihilation, which is what our Japanese lesson was. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card for 5. That ain't bad. Plumb the Forbidden. Okay, I will. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may sacrifice one or more creatures. If you do, copy the spell for each creature sacrificed this way. You draw a card, you lose a life. Not bad. The art shows off the Auric. Specifically Exodus. The Auric are the shadowy cabal of wizards that want to destroy the school. In this case, not because they're wizard Nazis, but because they all got kicked out of school and they're mad. Wormhole Serpent, we saw him in the Japanese set. 3 and a blue, target creature can't be blocked this turn. You can make, that could be him. Rip Apart, red and a white. Either deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy an artifact or enchantment. The flavor text, torn from history, torn from memory, torn from reality. And it looks like it is them tearing up an Auric wizard. Ooh, we got Vine Glimmer Snarl. So this is a much more impressive land. This one is you reveal a forest or an island from your hand to make it come out untapped. It is the blue-green Snarl. The Snarls are where chaotic magics of opposite types run into each other. We have Claim the Firstborn. A single red for a sorcery, gain control of target creature with mana value 3 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. And that is to represent a fey creature from Lorwyn taking the firstborn child of some unsuspecting villagers. Lorwyn being one of the 2 fairy tale planes. Lorwyn is much more Celtic myth directly, compared to Eldraine, which is much more Brothers Grimm fairy tales. Resculpt. Exile target artifact or creature. Create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. You give the opponent the token if you target one of theirs. But quite frankly, if you have like a clue that's sitting around or a food that you're not using, it's nice to turn into an elemental, in my opinion. Tangle Trap. Either deal 5 damage target creature with flying or destroy an artifact. Pigment Storm. 5 mana to deal 5 damage, but it tramples through. Hunt for Specimens. This was the one in the Japanese set. We didn't know what it was. Create a pest. Pests are 1/1 black and green creature tokens with when this creature dies, you gain a life. And learn. I think I will learn. We've got a Prismari Pledge Mage. 2 red-blue hybrids for a 3/3 Orc Wizard with Defender. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, he doesn't have Defender for that turn. Rise of Exodus. 4 and 2 black-white hybrids. To exile a creature, exile a target instant or sorcery from a graveyard, and learn. Not bad. Guiding Voice. The guy on that art looks like Will Wheaton. Okay, so yes, you are correct. There's 1 or 2 people at Hogwarts that are not that, but we only ever see human students. To my knowledge, there are a few adults who are there. I did mention there's like a centaur in Firenze, but even then, that's not a very diverse group, and almost every time some group of non-humans show up in Hogwarts, it's always a, oh, well, this group can't be trusted for this reason. And I used to have the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find It book, and that's basically how every description was that wasn't about an animal. Anyway, Guiding Voices put a +1/+1 counter on a creature and learn, which is not bad for a single mana. We've got a Lorehold campus, so this is where Lordhole students get to chill out. It's a big archaeological complex built into an ancient temple.
There's also Professor Flitwick.
Yes, I recognize there's Flitwick. That is who Said was referencing.
Yeah, I was trying to say that earlier and you told me.
Okay. But yes. So there is Flitwick, and there is Firenze, and there is Hagrid. Where are the students who aren't human?
Yeah.
Where are the...
It's not diverse, because it's still not. 3 people does not diversity.
Three people is you hired some stock actors to show up in your college pamphlet.
Yep.
That's the kind of thing that we drag schools for on Twitter. And on Tumblr, because it's tacky. We need to look like we're diverse, then start admitting people. No. But like over here in Strixhaven, you got a little bit of everybody. Okay, we got Eureka Moment. Draw 2 cards. You may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. Sure. And I like that Zimone sees patterns in math, and that's kind of her whole deal. We have Expanded Anatomy. 3 mana to put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature and give it vigilance till end of turn. And look, I'm not saying you're not allowed to like Harry Potter. It means a lot to a lot of people. I am saying that, like, hey, this is like it. I like this better. I wish they will do more with it. I don't know if they will, but I was surprised with Battle Bond. It took them 5 years to make a game set in Battle Bond's world after Battle Bond came out. Maybe I'll be surprised and we'll go back to Strixhaven. And they'll give us, like, a Netflix series and a children's book. Whatever. It'll be good. Oh, we have already had a comic appearance in one of the Magic the Gathering comics from Boom. We got Quandrix Apprentice, which is a human wizard. He's a 2/2. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them and put that card in your hand. And put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. Quandrix does want you to have a lot of lands. They like it. Our first black uncommon, or no, our black uncommon in this pack is Flunk. You can Flunk. Target creature gets -X/-X till end turn, where X is 7, minus the number of cards in that creature's controller's hand. So the beginning of the game, worthless. End of the game, if they're hellbent, I flunk you. You're done. Expressive Iteration. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand. One on the bottom in any order of your library. Sorry, one on the bottom. Exile one of them. You may play the exiled card. Okay. So you put one in your hand. You get rid of one effectively. And now you get to play with one. Alright. We have Ingenious Mastery. X, 2 and a blue. It's only 2 and a blue. If you want, if you do 2 and a blue, you draw 3 cards, then an opponent gets 2 treasure. And then they scry. If you don't do that, then you draw X. That's fine. Demonic Tutor. 1 in a black. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, and shuffle. Just do it. Just do it. What are you? Just do it. Alright. Next, Draft Pack. Fuming Effigy. Another one of those red spirits. He's a 4/3 for 4. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. A lot of the red-white is also cards getting out of the graveyard. Another Unwilling Ingredient. Another Waterfall Aerialist. Spined Carrick. It's a 2/4 vanilla crocodile for 2 and a green. Excavated Wall. 1 Defender. 1 in tap, mill a card for a 0/4. Star Pupil. Single white. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it because he's a 0/0. When he dies, put all of its counters on target creature you control. That was a lot more helpful when Ikoria was in Standard. Another Spectacle Mage. Exhilarating Elocution. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. That's nice.
Stop fucking avoiding me.
Okay. Spiteful Squad. 2 and a white-black for it. It says a human warlock. It's like 3 human warlocks. They're Death Touch 0/0. They have 2 +1/+1 counters. When they die, put its counters on target creature you control. Oh, we have our rare in the middle of the pack. Because it's a lesson. Okay. We have a rare lesson this time. Basic Conjuration, 1 and a green for a sorcery lesson. Look top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. You gain 3 life. That's actually not bad. The problem is it's your rare, so it's what you get. Did I put... I did. I put the Lorehold Campus on top of the rares. That is not a rare. Get out of there. With Mentor's Guidance, whenever you cast the spell, copy it if you control a Planeswalker, a Cleric, a Druid, a Shaman, a Warlock, or a Wizard. Scry 1, then draw a card. Sure. It's fine. Deadly Brew. Black and a green. Each player sacrifices a creature or Planeswalker. If you sacrifice a permanent this way, you may turn another permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Sure. Storm Kiln Artist. I really like this guy. He's a 2/2 Dwarf Shaman for 4. He gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, make a treasure. All treasures are artifacts. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, we got 2 nice ones back to back. We got a Pest. Got our Pest tokens. That's what the Pests look like. We have Compulsive Research, which is the same as our Japanese Mystic Archive we pulled. So you draw 3 cards, then that player discards 2 cards unless they discard a land. And we have 2 of our Deans. We have Plarg, the Dean of Chaos. So 2/2 for 2. Tap, discard a card, draw a card. 4 in a red and tap. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary non-land card with a mana value of 3 or less. Cast this card without paying its mana cost. Put all revealed cards not cast this way on the bottom of your library in random order. So one of our 2 Deans for Lorehold is an Orc Shaman who believes that people craft their society out of chaos. On the flip side, we have Augusta, the Dean of Order. She believes that that the laws of a society shape their people. She is a 1/3 human cleric for 2 and a white. Other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0. Other untapped creatures get +0/+1. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control. Then tap any number of creatures you control. So she gets to play around with how battles work, which is kind of fun. And so, like, this is the gal who, if you're with Lorehold and you're like, no, I want to learn about rules and ancient civilizations, she's the Dean you go to. And if you want to learn about, like, the wars and what people went through, you go to Plarg. There you go. Just straightening these up a little. I really wish they do more with this in the future. They got the Art Club backing on this Fractal, which is silly, because Prismari goes with the Elementals. Alrighty, Professor's Warning. That's Professor Onyx, who is Liliana Vess, one of the former members of the Gatewatch. Actually, she's still technically a member. She never broke her oath. She's just in hiding. So this one's not bad. Single black. Either give a creature a counter, or they gain indestructible until end of turn. Fine. Another Reject. Another Servant. Dragon's Approach. This one's special. This one has no limit of Dragon's Approaches you can put in your deck. 2 and a red. Deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may exile it and 4 other cards named Dragon's Approach from your graveyard, and if you do, search your library for a dragon, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle. We got another Battle Seer. The Biblioplexus is this old gargoyle who helps you in the library. He's a 2/1 with flying for 4, and when you enters the battlefield, put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Another Guiding Voice. An Owlin Shield Mage. The Owlin are very fun. Instead of Aven in this world, we have Owlin. They are all owl-themed. 3 and a white-black for a 3/3 Warlock with flying, and Ward, pay 3 life. Meaning if your opponent wants to get rid of this guy, they're going to lose 3 life. They're going to target with anything, they're going to lose 3 life. Elemental Masterpiece. 7 whole mana to create 2 4/4 blue and red elementals. Or you can pay 2 hybrid, discard it to make a treasure. Environmental Sciences. This one lets you find a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle, and you gain 2 life for 2 mana. It's a nice little lesson. Fortifying Draught. Single mana, you gain life. You get +X/+X, where X is the amount of life you gained. Because black-green is life gain, as you may have guessed so far. Mascot Interception. 3 and a red, costs 3 less if you target a creature token. Gain control of that creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains +2/+0 and haste until end of turn. This is a good active treason effect. I never remember the one from before it. I always call them active treasons. That one's very fun. Because that is effectively how you can win at Mage Tower. We got Rutha. Rutha's our gal right here on this pack. She's right there. 1 and a blue-red for a 1/4 Orc Shaman. 2, return her to her owner's hand, copy an instant sorcery you control. Just going to put her right on top of herself. We have Accomplished Alchemist. 3 and a green for a 2/5 Elf Druid. Tap it to create a mana of any color. Tap it to add X of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Then we got a Lightning Helix. This is the greatest top deck of all time. Red and white, for an instant, deals 3 damage. You gain 3 life. There was a Pro Tour where it came down to somebody drawing this and playing it, and that's how they won. Not quite as fancy as that one. But really like lightning helix there. I'm going to clean these up and put our commons and uncommons up on the rack so that they are out of the way. It's just what we got to do at this point. It's just what we got to do. We still have not pulled a single green uncommon. Damnedest thing. Our lands right there. We still have our rares, which is good. There we are. We got Field Trip. It's a ramp, lets you find a forest and learn. Tome Shredder, it's a wolf that exiles instants and sorceries from your graveyard to make itself bigger. Essence Infusion puts 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature and they gain lifelink. Soothsayer Adept. It broke the combo. We almost got to white. 1 in the blue for a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard. 1 in blue and tap, draw a card, discard a card. Sure. Got a Leyline Invocation, which this is the one that counts the number of lands you control to make your fractal. Square Up, which is gives a creature 4/4, makes them 4/4. There's our white. We have another Star Pupil. We got a Silver Quill Campus, so Silver Quill gets to go in this big, like, opulent looking basilica looking building because they're all writers and scholars. Moldering Karak. 2 and a black green for a 3/3 zombie crocodile with trample and lifelink. That is fun. Of course, if any of you are new to some of the ideas of Magic the Gathering and you want to know what terms are, please do not feel afraid to throw them out in the comments. I'll answer to them as fast as I can. Inkling Summons. This is our lesson. 1 and 2 white-black hybrids. Create an Inkling. It's a 2/1 creature with flying. We got a Fortifying Draught. Yep, we went over that one before. Stonebinder's Familiar. He's a spirit dog. He's a 1/1 spirit dog. Whenever one or more creatures are put into exile during your turn, put a counter on it. You only can do that once a turn, though. Returned Past Caller, which is a 3 and a red and a hybrid red-white and a white for a 4/2 Spirit Cleric with flying. When it enters the battlefield, return target spirit, instant, or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. That's fun. Venerable Warsinger. 1 and a red-white for a 3/3 Spirit Cleric. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card with mana value X or less, where X is the amount of damage it dealt. You put it on the battlefield. That's helpful. We got an Adventurous Impulse. Look top 3 cards of your library, reveal a creature or land, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Sure. Another Pest. So yeah, we're going to build a Strixhaven Cube. There's a couple of cards not from Strixhaven that I'm going to have to proxy for it. But most of it was Strixhaven, and it felt better to open a whole bunch of packs. I know this feels backwards. For a set cube, it feels better to me to open a bunch of packs first before you buy the remaining singles you need, because you're probably going to spend more otherwise. Like, it's one of the few times that packs make more sense, compared to, like, saying, making a commander deck where it's like singles make more sense every time. Biograph, it's a plant dog. You can either sacrifice a creature or add 3 to its cost. So if you sack a creature, it's a 5/4 for 2, which is really nice. First day of class, 1 in a red. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn, and then learn. Leech Fanatic. I love Leech Fanatic. 1 in black for a human warlock. As long as it's your turn, it has lifelink. It's a 2/2. And this one's the flavor text that made it for me. Everyone thinks that leeches maintain a strictly sanguivorous diet, but in fact, most freshwater leeches are carnivores. Wait, where are you going? Like, nobody wants to hear about your leeches, Carl. Frost Trickster, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 flying bird wizard. When Frost Trickster enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. It's a flying Frostlings. That's great. Combat Professor. It's a cool bird with fire swords. Who's going to say no to learning from the cool bird with fire swords? 2/3 for, 3 and a white for a 2/3 bird cleric with flying. Beginning of combat on your turn. Target creature control gets +1/+0 and vigilance until end of turn. We got the Quandrix campus, so this is where the Quandrix mages go to stay for 3 years. In these beautiful walled gardens. We got another elemental masterpiece. We got Infused with Vitality, which is Dina giving Killian tea to make him feel better. Until the end of your turn, target creature gains Death Touch, and when this creature dies, return to the battlefield, tapped under its owner's control, and you gain 2 life. Stonerise Spirit, 1 and a white for a Spirit Bird. It's a 1/2 with flying. 4, exile a card from your graveyard. Give flying to another creature. It's going to teach you how to fly. Fractal Summoning. This is X and a green-blue hybrid. X is the amount of mana. This one's the easiest one to calculate. How much is X? Yes. Master Symmetrist. It's a Rhino Druid. They have rocks in Strixhaven. They have Rhino Folk. They have some creatures we don't know their names for. There's a bear teacher in Professor of Zoology, or Zoomancy. Anyway, this is a 4/4 with reach. Whenever a creature controls power equal to its toughness attacks, it gains trample until end of turn. Test of Talents. 1 and a blue for an instant. Counter target instant or sorcery. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that spell and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. It's like, no, you don't get to cast this anymore. We're done. Silver Quill Apprentice. White and a black for a 2/2 human warlock with Magecraft. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It has spell breathing, effectively. That's fun. We have Selfless Glyph Weaver on this side. It's a 2/3 human cleric for 3. You exile it. Creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn. He offered his light to make sure no others would be dimmed. On the flip side, Deadly Vanity, 5 and a black for a sorcery. Choose a creature or planeswalker, then destroy all other creatures and planeswalkers. She cast a spell to purge all weakness. When the ink cleared, she stood alone. And then we have Defiant Strike, which is single white for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Draw a card. For our Mystical Archive, we have a really cool-looking spirit dude for our token. Look at this cool-looking spirit dude. He's fun. All right. We are making headway through this box. And we're getting to the point where we're getting duplicates, which is for the best. Okay, another Dragon's Approach. Novice Dissector. 3 and a black for a Troll Warlock. The troll's not in the dungeon. He's in the kitchen. This is his job now. 3/3, 1, sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. The professor said to first extract the venom glands, then the acid sac. Next up, the meeping organ? Why is it meeping? Yeah, like that. Yeah, why is it meeping? Vortex Runner. 2 and a blue for a 2/3 human wizard. It's Hermione. By using the Vortex, I can study for at least 15 extra minutes between every class. I wasn't being reckless, Dean Abraham. I was being efficient. As long as you control 8 or more lands, Vortex Runner gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. Reckless Amplimancer. Linear Growth. What am I, a first year? 1 and a green for a 2/2 Elf Druid with 4 and a green. Double Reckless Amplimancer's power and toughness until end of turn. I want to play him with an infinite mana combo now. I have an inkling that that's what our token is. It's an inkling. Haha. Defend the Campus. 3 and a white for an instant. Choose one. Creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Because at this point in the story that this card's showing off, the professors and the deans are protecting all of the students from the mage hunters, but now the library and the main hall are undefended. And that's what the Auric actually wanted. We have another Exhilarating Elocution. We have a Silver Quill Pledge Mage. 1 and 2 white-black hybrids for a 3/1 vampire cleric. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, it gains your choice of flying or lifelink until end of turn. So if you cast 2, she has both. The Letter of Acceptance. Look at this. Look at this. Why send out letter with owl when letter can be owl? I love this letter. Don't deny it. Everyone wanted a letter from a wizard school. We all did. And then I saw this one. It's like, I want that letter specifically. It's origamied. But it's very, very cool. Have I been throwing colorlesses into the multicolor pile? No. I just haven't pulled a colorless in a while. Okay. I was worried for a moment. We've got another Fractal Summoning. Devouring Tendrils. 1 and a green. For a sorcery, target creature you control deal damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. When the permanent you don't control dies this turn, you gain 2 life. Sure. We got Simone! Quandrix Prodigy. Green and a blue for a 1/2 human wizard. 1 and a tap. Put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. 4 and a tap. Draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. And yeah, this is Simone's whole character. What are they complaining about? It's not like axiomatic leyline paratrigonometrics is hard. Yes, it is. Stop it. Get some help. Show of Confidence, 1 and a white for an instant. When you cast this spell, copy it for each other instant. In sorcery you cast this turn, you may choose new targets for the copies. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn. And now the ooh. Okay, we got a mythic in our rare slot. Blot out the sky. X and a white-black. Create X tapped 2/1 white and black inkling creature tokens with flying. If X is 6 or more, destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents. Just do it. Destroy them all. A drop of ink is a nuisance. A torrent of inklings is a menace. And then we got Duress. Single black for sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. Choose a non-creature, non-land from it. They discard that card. And we got a Whirlwind Denial in foil. Look how shiny. Ooh, ah. I do too, Wanderlusting. We all still want that lizard? That letter to wizard school. Maybe that lizard to wetter school while we're at it. The schools around here are rather dry. They could be wetter. Maybe a lizard will get us there. But no, we all still want like that letter from wizard school, to find out that cabinet leads to Narnia, to go out in summer and it's snowing in August and we find a Digivice. We all still want those childhood adventures. And instead, we have back pain. Anyway, Whirlwind Denial, 2 and a blue for an instant. For each creature and ability your opponent controls, counter it unless its controller pays 4. So if they're comboing off, you can go, nah. What? Nah. No, not nah. Yes, nah. Nah, you don't get to. None of this happens. Yeah, see, I also want a lizard. We have a lizard. His name's Tango, and I have a problem. I actually can't feed lizards live shit. So I've come to the conclusion that like my options are a vegetarian or a herbivorous tortoise or an egg-eating snake. Because I also eat eggs, so I can relate to the snake, like on a primal level. We've got another Soothsayer Adept. We've got a big play. 1 and a green. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains reach till end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, meaning it gives a total of +3/+3, but 1's going to stick around. That is very fun. Another Tome Shredder. Lash of Malice. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And then the quote is from Killian's dad. The strongest shadow spells come from disdain for someone else, not frustration with yourself. Or you could just be nice, asshole. Be nice to your son. Needlethorn Drake. It's a Drake. It's a 1/1 Drake for a green and a blue. He has flying and death touch. Don't touch him. It causes death. Another Study Break. Another Campus Guide. Another Teach by Example. Another Fractal Summoning. We got Secret Rendezvous. We got the lesbians, guys.
Yeah!
1 and a white for a sorcery. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. Strixhaven's 5 colleges encourage natural rivalries amongst the students, but some bonds transcend all barriers. Now, they could just be friends. But
They were friends.
I
Best friends.
I have a feeling that they were friends in the way of like, yes, these two women were best friends and never married and lived together and owned 5 cats and even slept in the same bed. Such good friends. Oh, man, we got the best red uncommon. We got the hall monitor. Single red for a lizard wizard. He's a monitor lizard wizard. He's actually a lizard shaman. I'm a liar.
It's my RP character.
But yes, he is the hall monitor. He's the lizard shaman. He's a 1/1 with haste, 1 in red and tap. Dark creature can't block this turn. It's like, excuse me, where's your hall pass? Actually,
Our snake eats frozen, and I don't feed it. Someone else does.
those are good traits. So what you need is a feeding lackey for your snake. Hall monitor's flavor text is no unauthorized summoning, no writing in the library books, and absolutely no indoor dueling. He has to have a Poindexter voice, I feel. Humiliate. White and a black. Sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards it and put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. Oh, what's that? No comeback? And the most important card, Semester's End. 3 and a white for an instant. Exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of your next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, and an additional loyalty if it's a planeswalker. That is a really nice rare, and that's one of the rares we needed. So when you make a set cube, I'm going for the 4/2/1 model. So we need 4 of each common, we need 2 of each uncommon, and we need 1 of each rare and mythic. So any duplicate rares and mythics are useless to us. The duplicate commons and duplicate uncommons, perfectly fine. And that goes for the mystical archives too. So like Thrill of Possibility, I want to find a second one. 1 in red for an instant, and as an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards. We got a foil combat professor. Whatever they did for the foiling for Strixhaven is nice. Because for some reason, these aren't pringling super bad. And we got another inkling. But some of the foil treatments pringle super duper bad. And by pringling, I mean here. I have actually you know what? You're gonna this immediately shows me as a liar because these are from Strixhaven, but these aren't freshly opened. These are from a year ago. This is what I mean by pringling. They curl naturally. We have a special guest. We have our own hall monitor here today. I think this is the first time he's been pulled out of his cage in a long time.
Yeah.
No, come on. So Frere has brought Tango the lizard
Here he is.
out to see everybody. There's Tango the lizard. Hello, Tango. How you doing? You're the most valuable magic card here because you are not a card. You are a lizard.
No, come on.
Tango normally does not like being out.
Pick your favorite card.
Pick your favorite card. Who's your favorite? Oh, you're going for the colorless. Going for the colorless cards. Please do not poop on the cards.
He won't.
Okay. Oh, he's going for the uncommons. He wants that deadly brew back there. That's where he's going. And he's going to run to the edge of the table. You might want to grab him.
I see.
He wanted the tokens.
Okay. Oh.
They are now saying how cute Tango is in the chat.
Tango is adorable.
Tango is adorable.
He's also the oldest animal in the house.
Tango is the oldest animal in the house.
He's an old man.
He's an old man.
He used to be a class pet.
Yes. So Tango used to be my mother-in-law's class pet. She is a teacher. And with COVID, it was hard to keep track of when to feed him. And they started disinfecting the rooms every day with a chlorine-based spray. So she's like, I gotta keep Tango at home. Bad news... Well, Tango wasn't his name then. Back then he was just Lizard. Bad news is that Lizard wasn't getting fed enough because of this. So he's now Frere's Lizard. And gets fed quite regularly. Okay, we got another Pigment Storm, another Professor's Warning, another Reject. We only need one more Reject. Another Servant, another Pilgrim. The Witherbloom Campus. Look how beautiful the Witherbloom Campus is. The spooky kids at Hogwarts gotta live in a dungeon. The ones at Strixhaven, they get to live in a beautiful swamp. You know what's so beautiful about this swamp? There are ogres in that swamp, but they're nice. There are donkeys in that swamp, and they do not make waffles, because waffle makers are very difficult to operate with hooves. It's a good swamp. Now, what I'm really hoping we get is I hope we get more deans. We have one dean, and we need to get the headmasters. I already own Prismari's headmaster, so if we don't pull Prismari's headmaster, we're not doomed. I think I have Loreholds. Pretty sure I have Loreholds, but I need to get Quandrix, Witherbloom, and Silverquills. If we get alt art, even better. I have Prismari's and an alt art. The fun part with the headmasters here is, one, there are 5 of them, one for each college. And 2, they are dragons. I do not know their sexualities. They have not been expressed, but we might go back to Strixhaven when we do. Maybe we'll find out which dragon is gay. And then it'll be an actual fiction if we have a gay headmaster at Strixhaven. It'll be a big gay dragon, and we'll love them. We have a Lorehold Pledge Mage. It's a core shaman. The core are on Strixhaven. The core are mountain-dwelling people from Zendikar who were whisked to Dominaria. But the core of Strixhaven, while still cliff-dwelling, do not have that troubled past of Dominaria's or the tumultuous past of Zendikar's. They just have vibes. And that's nice. So he's a 2/2 with First Strike, and with Magecraft, he has the spell Breathing. So we have Elemental Summoning, 3, and Prismari Hybrids. It's the create a token lesson that the other guys get. Mortality Spear. That's very different. 2 and a black-green. It costs 2 less if you've gained any life this turn. Destroy target non-land permanent. Fuck that permanent in particular. Clever Lumimancer. Single white for a 0/1 human wizard. Whenever you cast or copy a spell, he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Very fun with that one. Like that. Symmetry Sage. Ooh, I see fun things coming. Single blue for an 0/2 human wizard with flying. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery, target creature you control has base power 2 until end of turn. So if you cast an instant sorcery, the worst you're looking at is a Windrake, and that's not bad. We have the Shine Shadow Snarl. So this is the white-black Snarl. Wonderful vortex of light and dark energy coming out of the fucking ground. It's amazing. And that goes in the rare pile. Brain. There we go. We got a Negate as our Mystical Archive. Counter target non-creature spell for 1 and a blue. It's fine. We got a Foil Hunt for Specimens. Very fun. We have a Checklist card. I really love the art in Strixhaven. I really do. I wish that the D&D adventure was better. It was better than Spelljammers. Do not buy Spelljammer. Wait for the level up version to come out. But Strixhaven could have been better, but it was still pretty fun. My biggest complaint with Strixhaven's D&D book is only the Owlin are described in it, and as you've seen, there's so many other races. Now, I understand not including humans or elves or dwarves, because those are in the player's handbook. And for orcs, you could just use half-orcs. But where's our merfolk stats, wizards? Where's our Loxodon stats? And I don't want to hear, oh, they're in this book. No. If it's not in the main 3 books, reprint it. Mage Hunter Onslaught. 2 and a black-black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Whenever a creature blocks this turn, its controller loses a life. Arcane Subtraction. 1 and a blue. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. And learn. Another Charge Through. Another Enthusiastic Study. An Arrogant Poet. 1 and a black for a 2/1 human warlock. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 life, and if you do, it gains flying until end of turn. I would be kinder to my peers, Professor, but I simply don't have any. The Silver Quill students that are black aligned are assholes because they believe words are meant to tear others down, and the white aligned ones are super duper friendly because they believe that words are to build each other up. Thrilling Discovery. This is Quintorius's special spell. Red and white. You gain 2 life. You may discard 2 cards, and if you do, you draw 3 cards. This must be the lost city of Xantifar, where my people lived before becoming nomads. Think of the history we'll learn here. We have the Eager First Year. 1 and a white for a 2/2 with Magecraft. She has that spell breathing ability. Today she learns the basics. She'll knock out advanced theory later this week. The Archway Commons. So this is the archway into the campuses. This is how you get into the main campus. And frankly, I wish my school looked that cool when I went to school. Another Needlethorn Drake. A Spirit Summoning. This is the Spirit version of the Fractal Summoning. A Mage Hunter. 3 and a black for a horror. 3/4 horror. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery, they lose a life. Mage Hunters feed on magical energy. They hunt down wizards to suck the magic out of them. One of the Orc's most powerful tools is the Mage Hunter, a vile monstrosity created to seek out and snuff out the arcane. Another Detention Vortex. A Lorehold Apprentice, white and a red, for a 2/2 human cleric. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery until end of turn, spirit creatures you control get that tap and deal damage ability. Leonin Lightscribe. They're Leonin on this planet. They're kitty people. Look at the kitty man. Look at the kitty man. Focus on the kitty man, camera. Focus. Look at the kitty man. It's Leomon. He's going to die again. Be sad. No. Please stop killing Leomon. We can't take it anymore. In this case, his instants and sorceries give him +1/+1. We got an Opt. I love Opt. Opt is Scribe and Draw. I love Opt. Opt is the quintessential basic blue spell to me. Yes. I don't know exactly who Yvonne is, but Yvonne's in here. Specifically, Prayer Mrs. Yvonne. Heated Debate, 2 and a red for an instant. This spell can't be countered. Deals 4 damage to target creature, planeswalker. When you were wasting time with abstract equations, I mastered ancient Ogier fire magic. Your move. That has the same vibe to me as, what? Well, you were studying mathematics. I studied the blade. Another Leech Fanatic. Pop Quiz. 2 and a blue. Draw a card, learn. But I do love the flavor text on it is, today's Hydromancy. I thought it was Amplimancy. I studied for Amplimancy. Another field trip. Twin Scroll Shaman. It's a Dwarf Shaman with Double Strike. Quandrix Pledge Mage. 1 and Quandrix Hybrid. Quandrix Hybrid for a 2/2 Merfolk Druid with the you put a +1/+1 counter on it anytime you cast a spell. Pillar Drop Rescuer. This one's real nice. It's 4 and a white for a 2/2 with flying, which is expensive, but you get to get back another cheap creature from your graveyard, and it goes to your hand. Cogwork Archivist. It is a 12-foot tall Clockwork Librarian. It's a 4/5 construct with reach. Blood Researcher. 1 and a green-black for a Vampire Druid with Menace. 2/2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on her. That's very nice. Another Elemental Summoning. Ardent Dust Speaker. 4 and a red for a Minotaur Shaman. It's a 3/4. Whenever Ardent Dust Speaker attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. And if you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library, and you may play those cards this turn. Divide by 0. 2 and a blue, return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand, and learn. Golden Ratio. 1 and a green-blue. For a sorcery, draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. That's clever. And then, okay, so our Mystical Archive is Ephemerate. Single white, you exile a creature control, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, then you rebound, so you cast it again next turn, which is very fun. And then we got Mila, Crafty Companion. It's just a little fox. It's just a little friendly fox. And no characters from Ikoria who deserved better and didn't deserve to become Villainous Hiccup are here. Oh no, there he is. It's Luca. I already have a Mia and Luca, so this is a bonus for me. I like that Luca just naturally finds a creature to bond with whenever he planeswalks. I wish that they let him be Toothless. Or let him be Hiccup. They did not let him be Hiccup. It is sad. He deserved to be the Hiccup he could have been the Hiccup we deserved, and instead he became the sociopath we needed. Because his whole story in Ikoria mirrors Hiccup's in How to Train Your Dragon. It's a very similar story. But what we get instead is he goes insane because his future father-in-law kills his creature, his Toothless equivalent. And now he's nuts and he's trying to murder people. Which is sad. That was his Ikoria story. And now he's here and basically just a homeless man. In this story, he's a planeswalker whose only purpose is to be a homeless man. Liliana becomes a professor. Kazmina is a professor. And Will and Rowan are students. But, of course, poor what's his name? Luca just becomes a homeless man. Now, yes, I am going through here and just taking out the duplicates already. We have a sudden breakthrough. Target creature gets +2/+0 and first strike till end turn. Create a treasure token, all for 1 and a red. It's a great instant. We have the Professor of Zoomancy. He's a bear. He's a lonely bear looking for love. He's 3 and a green for a 4/3 and creates a pest. Witherbloom Pledge Mage is a tree folk warlock. So there's a tree folk who's coming to work here. You gain life whenever you cast spells with him. Make your mark. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. When that creature dies this turn, create a 2/3 red and white spirit token. Those who do learn from history may still choose to repeat it. The Team Pennant. It's a 1-mana equipment. Equips for 3. Equips to a token for 1. Equip creature gets +1/+1. It has vigilance and trample. Overgrown Arch. 1 and a green for a plant wall. With Defender. Tap, you gain a life. Tap and sacrifice it to learn. Reconstruct history. 2 and a red-white. Return up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target enchantment, up to 1 target instant, up to 1 target sorcery, up to 1 target planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand, and exile it. That's a crazy card. Ifrit Flame Painter. 3 and a red for a 1. I'm going colorblind. I'm calling every color black. It's a 1/4 Ifrit Shaman with double strike. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. It has double strike, so you can do that twice. Shit, that's good. Another Claim the Firstborn. We're done with Claim the Firstborn. We got his pest. I really want to run a Strixhaven campaign. I really, really do. It just looks like so much fun to do so. Curate. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard, the rest on the top of your library in any order, and draw a card. This little Clockwork Archivist. Got another Mage Duel, another First Day of Class. Spectre of the Fens. 3 and a black for a Spectre. The flying, 5 and a black, target opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life, it's a 2/3. Another Infused with Vitality, another Lorehold Campus. Biomathematician, 1 and a green-blue for a 2/2 human wizard. There's battlefield. Create a fractal. The +1/+1 is for each. You put on each fractal you control. Defend the campus again. Make your mark again. Fractal summoning again. Another Stormkiln Artist. Closing statement. 3 and a white-black for an instant. Costs 2 less to cast during your end step. Destroy target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you do control. That's fun. Reduced to Memory is our lesson. Exile target permanent. Its controller creates a spirit. Baleful Mastery. 3 and a black, or you can pay 1 and a black. If you pay 1 and a black, an opponent draws a card. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Sure. We got another Whirlwind Denial. So we don't need another Whirlwind Denial. We're done with Whirlwind Denials. Hopefully we don't get another. We still have only pulled 1 Dean, and we still only have 2 of the 5 students. Now, I have extra copies of the students, but I think I only have 1 of each except for the 2 here, and I think I have a spare Killian. Illustrious Historian, 1 and a red for a 2/1 Shaman, 5 and exile from your graveyard. Create a spirit. That's neat. Another Mage Hunter Onslaught, another Reject. I think we're done with Rejects. Charge through. Expel. 2 and a white, exile target tap creature. Because Quintorius did not start as a wizard, he started as a soldier, and he got expelled from the army. Lorehold Pledge Maid, Spiteful Squad, Square Up, Star Pupil, Elemental Summoning. The Bookworm! I love the Bookworm. 7 and a green for a 7/7 with Trample. When there's a battlefield, you gain 3 life, you draw a card, and 2 and a green, put it from your graveyard onto the library, 3rd from the top. Because he's a bookworm, he eats through the library. Shadewing Laureate, white, a hybrid, and a black. For a 2/2 with flying, whenever another creature you control with flying dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That would pair very well with Luminous Broodmoth. Explosive Welcome. 7 in a red, deals 5 damage to any target and 3 damage to any other target, and add red, red, red. Very nice. Silver Quill Silencer. White and a black, for a 3/2 human cleric, when it enters the battlefield, choose a non-land card name. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with the chosen card, with the chosen name, they lose 3 life, you draw a card. That's mean. We got a Cultivate. 2 and a green, search your library for 2 basic lands, reveal them, put one on the battlefield tapped, put the other in your hand, and shuffle. That is some good ramp. That's some good ramp. I don't know what to tell you. It's good ramp. If you're thinking that doesn't sound like good ramp, you're wrong. It's good ramp. Another pop quiz. Skirrid Colony. 1 and a green for a 2/2 squirrel. Reach. Skirrid Colony gets +2/+2 as long as you control 8 or more lands. Skirrid Teeth evolved to crack open nuts, but they work just as well for crushing bones if the nest is threatened. They will fuck you up. Heated Debate, Essence Infusion, Curate, Cram Session, Combat Professor, Quandrix Campus. I think we've looked at all 5 campuses at this point, yes. Elemental Masterpiece, Introduction to Prophecy, Umbral Juke, 2 and a black, for an instant, target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, or create an Inkling. Emergent Sequence, search library for a basic land, put on the battlefield, tapped, shuffle, create a fractal, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each land that enters your battlefield under your control this turn. Closing statement again. Frostboil Snarl, so that's the fire and ice snarl. It's very pretty. Divine Gambit, white, for a sorcery. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment opponent controls, then that player may put a permanent card from their hand onto the battlefield. Fun. Let's clean up the multicolors, I think, because that stack's getting big again. We'll clean it again. Cleaning up. In fact, I have a feeling that duplicates I'm just going to start throwing onto the rack, because that's where it's getting to. Particularly cool ones I will pull out and I will show off. But we're at the point where if I know it's a duplicate, going on the rack's probably the smarter choice. Hey, there we go. Okay. Still looking for the other 3 students. We're still looking for the other 4 pairs of deans. We're still looking for more planeswalkers. I already have an Onyx, so I'm not too torn up if we don't find her. Another Fuming Effigy. The Poet. Burog Befuddler. 1 in a blue for a 2/1 Frog Wizard with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-0 until end of turn. This one is not a student. He's just a wizard who's nearby. And he messes with him. He's fun. It's fun on a bun. I should switch those. There we go. Rise of Extus. Exile target creature. Exile 1 target instant sorcery card from a graveyard and learn. Extus is the leader of the Auric. Defiance. Eureka Moment. Illuminate History. 2 and a red for a rare lesson. Discard any number of cards, draw that many cards, then if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, create a spirit. You can set yourself up real nice in that one, because red-white in this set is Graveyard Recursion. Karok Wrangler. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It's an elf druid who rides crocodiles. Another Stonebinder familiar. Prismari Apprentice. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, he can't be blocked this turn. If that spell has a mana value of 5 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on him. That's not a bad bear. Ecological Appreciation, X and a 2 green for a mythic rare sorcery. Search your library and graveyard for up to 4 creature cards with different names that each have a mana value of X or less and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards, shuffle the chosen cards into your library, put the rest on the battlefield, and exile this card. That is mean. Gift of Estates. If your opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for up to 3 plains cards, reveal them, put them onto your hand, and shuffle. And we got another detention vortex. We have been very bad students. We keep getting put into the vortex. So that's what happens when you're a naughty student. You get thrown to the vortex. Naughty pairs go in the pear jiggler. Yes, this is the pear jiggler. I'm going to make a new version of it called the pear jiggler now. It's the only way. We got Pillar Drop Warden. He is a 1/5 with reach, and when he's in your... you pay 2 and tap him and sacrifice him to get an instant sorcery back from your graveyard to your hand. That's not bad at all. Alright, we got the Stonerise Spirit again. We got another Letter of Acceptance. That means I get to take one of you with me to Strixhaven when I go. Because I got 2 letters. We got another Master Symmetrist. Test of Talents. We already did that one. 3 Test Talents. We got another Reconstruct History. We got another Dean! We got Uvilda, Dean of Perfection. 2 in a blue for a 2/2 Djinn Wizard. You may tap her and exile an instant or sorcery from your hand and put 3 hone counters on it. It gains at the beginning of your upkeep. If this card is exiled, remove a hone counter from it, and when the last hone counter is removed from this card, if it's exiled, you may cast it. If it costs 4 or less, it costs 4 or less to cast this way. On the flip side is Nasari, Dean of Expression. 3 in a red for a 4/4 Ifrit Shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of each opponent's library until the end of turn. You may cast spells from amongst the exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Nasari. So we got a second Dean. We got the Prismari Dean. We got a Harmonize, 2 in a green to draw 3 cards, and another Gift of Estates. We got 3 rares in this pack. That's actually freaking amazing. And we got a treasure token. It looks like a little snarl gem, which is really neat. So yeah, Uvilda and Nasari, they've actually they showed up in the story for a good chunk actually, as they tried to talk to Rutha about her final, because Rutha was having a panic attack. We got a Bury-in Books. 4 in a blue. It costs 2 less if it targets an attacking creature. Put target creature into its owner's library, second from the top, as you bury it in books in the library. Another Servant, another General. Stonebound Mentor. 1 in a red-white. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, scry 1. It's just a nice little ghost you summon to help you. Pilgrim of the Ages. I love this card. I put this in my normal cube, in my beginner's cube. 2 in a white for a 2/1 spirit. When there's a battlefield, you may search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, and then shuffle your play it in your hand and shuffle. And for 6, return it from the graveyard to your hand. That's some good white recursion. Excuse me. Another thrilling discovery. I put that one in the wrong category. Okay. Academic Probation, a rare lesson. 1 in a white to put Spock in bondage. Wait. Now that's what it looks like. That looks like you're putting Zachary Quinto in bondage. Choose one. Choose an on-land card name. Opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name until your next turn, or choose target on-land permanent until your next turn. It can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. That seems like a really fancy way to say tap Kirk's boyfriend. Spell Satchel. 2 mana for an artifact with Magecraft. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a book counter on it. Tap and remove book counter to add colorless. 3 and tap and remove 3 book counters to draw a card. Going to bed?
Yes.
Okay. I will join you when I'm done with the stream. Okay. We got another Mage Hunter. We got another Rutha. So I'm just going to throw her in the uncommon multicolors. We got a Conspiracy Theorist. 1 in a red for a 2/2 Human Shaman. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more land cards, you may exile 1 of them from your graveyard, and if you do, you may cast it this turn. That's way cooler than our Conspiracy Theorists, who just tell us that people are eating children all the time. Our mythical archive is Village Rites. Single black, sacrifice creature, draw 2 cards. We got a Overgrown Arch as a foil. We got a Spirit. Very nice. What do we got? Another Vortex Runner, another Field Trip, another Tome Shredder, another Essence Infusion, another Battle Seer, another Biblioplex Assistant, another Guiding Voice, another Shield Mage, another Masterpiece, another Prophecy, another Prophecy, Symmetry Sage, Dina! We got Dina. Green and black for a 1/3 legendary Dryad Druid. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses life. 1, sacrifice another creature. Dina gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. She's in the school that has creatures that give you life. So she just makes things mean. She's a little bit like playing Slimefoot from Dominaria. Access Tunnel. Tap. Add colorless. 3 and tap. Target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. Because they ran into the access tunnels. Our rare is Augmenter Pugilist. 1 and a green for a 3/3 Troll Druid with Trample, and as long as you control 8 or more lands, it gets +5/+5. So late game, this is just an 8/8 with Trample, and that's fucking mean. Flip side, Echoing Equation. 3 and a blue. Oh. I love the flavor text, I'll read that in a minute. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of it until end of turn, except those creatures aren't legendary if it's legendary. So flavor text for the equation is, any good experiment is repeatable, but the good one is the pugilist of, hold still, I have a theory about what's going to happen to your face. The answer is, it will be pummeled by the pugilist. We got a shock. Yeah, that's what happened. I like that the flavor text is from Ral Zarek, because the flavor on the library, the Biblioplex, is that the Biblioplex is not only full of spells from Strixhaven. They purposefully find planeswalkers to teach there, and then go out and find spells from other planes to teach the students. So, as much as, like, the Oriq are constantly going, no, they're telling us that some magic is forbidden, it's like, dude, they're sending out people to find shit from, like, Ravnica and Innistrad. Shut up. But they won't let us summon demons. Okay, I really want you to think about that for a minute, buddy. They won't let us build a nuclear reactor. How are you going to build it? We were going to pile a bunch of Californium in the basement. Don't do that. That's forbidden for a reason. Alright, getting rid of our duplicates. It looks like so far all of our commons are dupes. They are all dupes, but our uncommons aren't. We got Nightwitch. It's a single black mana for a 1/1 flying eye bat that when it dies, you learn. You learn that you shouldn't fuse eyes with bats. Killian, Ink Duelist. We got Killian. He's a 2/2 for white and a black with lifelink and menace, and spells that you cast that target a creature cost 2 less to cast. We have a Thunderous Orator. He is a 1 and a he's 1 and a white for a 2/2 core wizard with vigilance. Whenever he attacks, it gains flying until end of turn if you control a creature with flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, and Trample. Whenever I list off keywords, I start doing the Poke Rap in my head, and then I have to try really hard not to go into, like, Nidoran Mankey, Voltorb Rattata, Pharaoh Pidgey. No. Stop it. Don't do that. Hey, we got the Biblioplex. So here's the library, where all the students go together to learn and hang out. Notice how we don't call it a library. It's a library. It's not focusing. Focus. Focus, thank you. Tap to add colorless. 2 and tap, look at the top card of your library. If it's instant or sorcery, reveal it, put it in your hand. And if you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. And only do this if you have exactly 7 or 0 cards in your hand. Grape Shot. Grape Shot's a great rare, because for 1 and a red, you deal 1 damage to a target. And then it has Storm. Which, if you don't know Storm, Storm is, let's count every spell that was cast this turn. That you cast this turn. And for each spell, Or no, it's each spell. So that includes your opponent's spells. So, for every spell that was cast, copy this spell. And so you chain it with a bunch of spells that give you mana or give you treasure. And then you go like, oh, I cast 19 spells this turn. I cast Grape Shot. Grape Shot copies itself at least once, because that counts as a spell. It's like, oh no, I killed you with 1 mana or 1 damage over and over again. That's what you get for crossing me. I've always wanted to make a Storm deck work. The other Storm deck that's fun is Dragonstorm, where it's full of dragons, and you cast Dragonstorm, and you copy it for all the dragons. Another Leyline Invocation, another Fuming Effigy, another Poet, another Fwog, another Big Play, another Vitality, another Spirit, another Pledge Mage, another Mark, another Expanded Anatomy. Reduced to Memory. We already had that one. Solve the Equation. Search your library for an instant or sorcery, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. The Oriq really want Zimone to join them because she's so smart, and they want Killian to join him because he has a chip on his shoulder. I can't help but notice that they only target the 2 human characters. Tend the Pests. Black and a green. As initial cost of a spell, sacrifice a creature. Create X 1/1 black and green pest tokens, where when this creature dies, you gain a life, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. Really good way to get out of, like, those pacifism-style removals. Like, fine, I can't have my 1 huge creature enjoy my bajillion-y little creatures. We got a Witherbloom command. Black and a green for a sorcery. Pick 2. Target player mills 3 cards. Then you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Or, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Or, target creature gets -2/-1 until end of turn. Or, target opponent gets loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Pick 2 of those. I love the commands. They're the Chinese buffet, or the Vegas buffet, or the hometown buffet. I don't care what kind of buffet, it's a buffet. Pick 2 things. Go nuts, kids. You have any 2 toys you want out of these 4. Alright, we got another Breakthrough. We got another Dissector. We got another Trickster. We got more Squirrels. More Crammon. Another Campus. Another Owl with Swords. Another Clockwork Dude. Another Inkling Summoning. Another Ardent Dust Speaker. Another Divide by 0. Another Golden Ratio. Draconic Intervention. Wow, we just went through the whole damn pack. 2 in a red for a sorcery. As initial cost to cast a spell, exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. Deals X damage to each non-dragon creature, where X is the exile card's mana value. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead. That's good removal. Snakeskin Veil, put a +1/+1 counter on hard creature control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. It's fine. A shiny infused with vitality. That's fun. And a pest. Come on, I want to get Quintorius before we get to the pack with his face on it. So if he's in there, that would be funny. I think that would be funny. Another Tangle Trap. Another Illustrious Historian. Another Hunt for Specimens. Another Biomathematician. Ageless Guardian. Prismari Campus. Oggyar Battleseer. Someone's in the sink. God damn it. We gotta confront the past. X and a black for a sorcery lesson. Choose 1. Return target planeswalker card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or remove twice X loyalty counters from target planeswalker and opponent controls. Why, Gideon? Of all people, why save me? Way to make me feel feelings, assholes at Wizards of the Coast. Team Pennant, Overgrown Arch, Silverquill Apprentice, Cats in the Sink, Radiant Scroll Wielder. 2 and a red-white for a 2/4 dwarf cleric. Instant sorcery spells you control have lifelink. Beginning of your upkeep, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard. You may cast it this turn. If it would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. We got a Revitalize, which is 1 and a white. You gain 3 life. You draw a card. It's fine. We got a foil, Culmination of Studies. X and a blue-red. Exile the top X cards of your library. For each land card exiled this way, create a treasure. For each blue card exiled this way, draw a card. For each red card, deal 1 damage to each opponent. So I was wrong. This doesn't control, even though that's what the art is. The art is them taking control of the blood avatar. That's not what the card does. Which feels wrong to me. But, hey, they're the ones fighting the blood avatar, not me. And that's Will and Rowan. We have not found them in the packs yet. The Planeswalker we did get was Luca. I was hoping for Kasmina or Will and Rowan. Will and Rowan are the prince and princess of Eldraine. They are brother and sister. Will does ice magic. Rowan does fire magic or lightning magic. That is their lot in life. They're fun. They're fun characters. Hey, we got a Relic Sloth. That's a new card. Relic Sloth is 3 and a red-white for a beast, a 4/4 beast with Vigilance and Menace. Will and Rowan first showed up in Battle Bond. Then we went to Throne of Eldraine, which took place before Battle Bond. We got to see how one of them, I think it was Will, died, but since they're twins, they share a spark now. Their babysitter is Garrick. Garrick was cursed by Liliana. He wandered the plains aimlessly. Will and Rowan freed him. He is now their protector. Liliana is now Professor Onyx, who is their professor. And there is a theory that should Liliana and Garrick reunite at this time, they will hate fuck with such an intensity that it may shatter the planes. We will have to find out. The thing is, the way that was described to me was through a Homestuck meme that I wish I didn't know. Hey, we got a Mercurial Transformation. It's 1 and a blue for a lesson. Till end of turn, target non-land permanent loses all abilities and becomes your choice of a blue frog with base power 1/1 or a blue octopus with base power 4/4. For sun's sake, I just want a crab. That's silly. Got a Dueling Coach. 3 and a white for a 2/2 human monk. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. 4 and a white and tap. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature control with a +1/+1 counter on it. That's actually really nice. Finally, we found Quintorius. 3 and a red-white for a 2/4 Elephant Cleric. Spirits you control get +1/+0. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/3 red and white spirit creature token. Thank you, Quintorius. Quandrix Command, choose 2. Return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Or target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into the library. And we got a Weather the Storm, which is you gain 3 life, and it has Storm, which of course is the for every spell you've cast, copy this spell. Copying works really well with Magecraft. More packs to crack. So crack them all open. Come on, open up packs. Let's go. Here we go. We got a Soothsayer Adept again. Going through all of these, putting them in the stacks if they aren't brand new, because that is what we do. Practical Research. 3 and a red, blue. Draw 4 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an instant or sorcery card. Fine. Containment Breach. Destroy target artifact or enchantment if its mana value is 2 or less. Create a 1/1 black and green pest creature with when the creature dies, you gain 1 life. Igneous Inspiration. Deals 3 and a red, deal 3 damage to any target and learn. Damagoth Titan is our rare. Hybrid, green, black, green, black, green, black, green, black. For a demon, whenever it attacks or blocks, sacrifice a creature. It's an 11/10 for 4 mana. This is fucking terrifying. Now, it does mean it just sits there if you have no creatures to sack. Or it'll sack itself. Chaos Warp, 2 and a red. Owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library, and if it's a permanent card, puts it onto the battlefield. Chaos Warp's a really broken card. It is effectively removal of any permanent in red, and it's the only card that really does it. But there's a very good chance it'll swap a card. Okay, another Leech Fanatic, another Trickster, another Karok, another Breakthrough, another Archivist, another Blood Researcher, another Stonebound Mentor, another Pilgrim, another Campus, another... Oh, Pest Summoning! This is the Pest version. The pests in it are very cute to me. They're gross cute. Like everything at a Hot Topic. Tim Burton Presents Summon a Thing. Damogoth Woe Eater. 1 and a black and a hybrid black-green and a green for a 7/6 demon. Beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. When you sacrifice Damogoth Woe Eater, each opponent discards a card. You draw a card, you gain 2 life. That is actually really cool. Grinning Angus, this is a Future Sight card. It first showed up in Future Sight. We didn't see it until now. 2 and a red for a 2/2. He has red, tap him, return him to your hand to add colorless red, and activate as a sorcery. So if you have red, you can keep recruiting him, which is very mean in some life gain decks. Maelstrom Muse, 1 and a blue and a blue and a red for a 2/4 Djinn Wizard with flying. When it attacks, the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn costs X less to cast, where X is Maelstrom Muse's power as this ability resolves. Auric Lore Mage, 2 and a black for a human warlock. With a 3/3 tap, search your library for a card, put it into the graveyard, and shuffle. If it's instant or sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That is really nice. And we got an Infuriate.
The dishes in the sink, so there should be no more cats in the sink.
Thank you, Frere. That is very helpful. You seem infuriated.
No. You gave me caffeine, so I drink a ton of caffeine, and now I am caffeine.
Well, I cast Infuriate on you. It's red mana for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn.
Caffeinated. That's the word.
But I can never remember that TikTok song. It's like, it's I'm caffeinated something and freshly masturbated. And I don't remember the middle one. And it's been bothering me for like 2 days.
I mean, that would bother me too if all I could remember was masturbating.
I remember caffeinated. I remember they're full of caffeine and they jerked it. I don't know what the middle is. We are so getting demonetized. And if you want to see us continue to do things that get demonetized, support us through patreon.com. Ooh, we got Start from Scratch. 2 and a red for a lesson. Choose 1. Start from Scratch deals 1 damage to any target or destroy target artifact. Go blank. 2 and a black. Target player discards 2 cards, then exile all cards from that player's graveyard. Decisive Denial. Red, green and a blue. Choose 1. Target creature control fights target creature you don't control, or counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 3. Fun. Another Draconic Intervention. Another Snakeskin Veil. Another Table Trap. Another Pest. Another Whiskey Leaf. A drink. Another Lager drink. Nope, that's tub thumping. Somebody made a tweet that I had to read with my own eyes, comparing tub thumping to Hallelujah by what's his name? The one that was in Shrek. You know the one. It's like that. Those two songs should not be occupying the same part of my mind. How dare you? How dare you do this to me? My brain's saying Leonard Skinner, and that's not correct. Who? Leonard Cohen? Yeah, Leonard Cohen. Thank you, brain, for figuring it out as I was typing it in Google. You're welcome for getting songs stuck in your head. They're stuck in mine, too. Hey, we got some necrotic fumes. Somebody had beans. No, that's not true. Beans actually don't create very smelly ones, but eggs and cauliflower, on the other hand. 1 and a black for a lesson. As an additional cost, exile a creature you control, exile target creature or planeswalker. Very straightforward. Lorehold Excavation. At the beginning of your... It's an enchantment for a red and a white. Hi, Cassie. The cat has the zoomies. At the beginning of your end step, mill a card. If a land card was milled this way, you gain a life. Otherwise, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. 5. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a 2/3 white and black spirit creature token. That's not a bad card for what that deck wants to do. Lorehold Command. 3 and a red-white for the Lorehold version. Choose 2. Create a spirit. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and indestructible and haste until end of turn. Deals 3 damage to any target. Target player gains 3 life. Sacrifice a permanent, draw 2 cards. Overall, not bad. Agonizing Remorse. That's a good one. We got our second Agonizing Remorse. Alright, we're done with the box, then we'll do our character packs. I have a hunch as to who is who. in here. But I cannot say for sure. Anyway. And mind you, some of you might have no relation to me. I just know who I invited to the stream. Got a Barian Books. Got a Groth. Got a General. Got a Promising Dusk Mage. Oh, that one's new. 2 and a black. For a 2/3 human warlock. When it dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. Your technique's sloppy, but there's talent there. Do it again and keep your right arm in position this time. Got Curate, Spectacle Mage, Defend the Campus, Elocution, Silver Quill Pledge Mage. Yep, we did that one. Environmental Sciences, Academic Dispute. Single red for an instant. Target creature blocks this turn if able. You may have it gain reach until end of turn. Learn. Tenured Inkcaster. 4 and a black for a Vampire Warlock. Oh yeah, we did this one. I think. Let's see. Enters the battlefield, put +1/+1 counter target creature. Whenever a creature controlled +1/+1 counter on it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain a life. That's actually very nice. Quandrix Cultivator is a turtle druid. 1 and a green and a hybrid and a blue. For a 3/4 turtle druid. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a forest or island, put it into the battlefield, and then shuffle. Fun. Dramatic Finale. White, black, white, black, white, black, white, black. All hybrids. Enchantment creature tokens you control get +1/+1. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token. With flying, this trigger happens only once per turn. We have an Eliminate. 1 and a black, destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. Another spirit token. The box is done. Get out of here, box. Nobody loves you, box. We can pull out the other box in a moment. I'm sorry I got tub thumping stuck in your head. Or do you mean Hallelujah? Hallelujah actually is much easier to get stuck in your head. That one gets stuck in my head a lot, honestly. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, because you just think like it goes like this, the 4th, the 5th, the minor 4th, the major left. There's nothing you can do about it, it's just there now. Yeah. Another Karok Wrangler, another Mascot Interception, another Lorehold Excavation. We got Gazaleth Prismari, who I already had. Oh well. So we got one of the Deans. We got Gazaleth, 2 and a red-blue for a legendary Elder Dragon. 3/4 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure.
Hey, get off there!
Artifacts you control.
Stop pulling at the glass and messing with Tango. Get out!
Artifacts you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery.
Get out of my room.
We got another shock. Got an elemental. Alright. Let's stack these.
You're too heavy. Get
Oh.
out.
Fair had to kick out the cat because the cat was messing with the lizard, which is completely fair. Throwing these up on the rack. Before we open the new pack, the new box, I realize what we should do is open the 5 remaining packs in front of us. And I think we're going to start with, you know what, Rutha was here first. Let's start with Rutha. She's been waiting long enough. Oh, yeah, okay, so it was tub thumping. Though Hallelujah is very easy to get stuck on. I mean, you don't feel bad about tub thumping, though, because you'll just get knocked down, but you'll get up again. Alright, the multicolored spell stack is gotten too large, so it gets moved up. Letter of Acceptance, Pledge Mage, Biomathematician, Teachings of the Archaics, 2 and a blue for a lesson. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards if an opponent has at least 4 more cards in hand than you. That's very nice. Creative Outburst. Deal 5 damage to any target. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put 1 in your hand, 1 in the bottom of your library. Sorry, the rest in the bottom of the library in a random order. 2 hybrid and discard. Create a treasure. That's not bad either. That is not bad either. Reflective Golem. 3 mana for a Golem. It's a 2/3 Golem. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Reflective Golem, you may pay 2. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. Now, it only works in the casts, so the copies do not copy. Ether Helix. 3 and a green and a blue to return a permanent to its hand. Return permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Not bad at all. Archmage Emeritus. 2 and a blue for a human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or cast or copy an instant sorcery, you draw a card. He's a 2/2, which is not bad either. And a negate. So I think we're done on negates now. Okay, Rutha. You get to go hang out in the multicolored pile. I want to say Zimone was next. Quint is last. So, let's see what you were hiding, Zimone. Yep, okay, that's who I thought that was. That seems like a heck of a hint. Alrighty. Another Professor's Warning, another Arcane Subtraction, another Professor of Zoomancy, another Pillar Drop, another Promising, Thrilling Discovery, Relic Sloth, Defiance, Wall, Spirit Summoning, Kelpie Guide. Man, I really like the song Kelpie by Jethro Tull, so that's in my head now. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 beast. Tap, untap another target permanent you control. Tap target permanent. Activate only if you control 8 or more lands. I'd be very tempted to put 2 of these down and just twiddle with them, because I'm mean that way. The Honor Troll. He's the troll on the honor roll. First in his clan to attend Strixhaven, and now first in his class. 2 and a green for a 2/3 with Vigilance. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. He gets +2/+1 as long as you have 25 or more life. I like you, Honor Troll. Witherbloom Apprentice. We finally get Witherbloom's Apprentice. He's a 2/2 for 2, like the other apprentices. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. Perfectly fine. And we have Retriever Phoenix as our rare. 3 and a red for a 2/2 Phoenix with flying and haste. Enters the battlefield. If you cast it, you learn. And as long as it's in your graveyard, if you would learn, you may instead return it to the battlefield. That's nice. And then we have Tezzeret's Gambit, which is 3 and a blue Phyrexian mana. Blue Phyrexian mana can be paid with either blue mana or 2 life. Draw 2 cards, then you will proliferate, which takes the number of counters on any number of permanents and or players and give them each another counter of each kind of counter they already have. Very, very good. Thank you, Zimone, for what you were hiding for us. And now I want to say Dina was next. The boys are last. Let's see what Dina's hiding. And doop, 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 doop. Throwing all the commons up, unless we find a new one, which we haven't for a while. We have Professor of Symbology. 1 and a white for a core cleric. When she enters the battlefield, learn. She's a 2/1. She ain't bad. Fracture. White and black. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Not bad at all. Zephyr Boots. Single mana for a artifact equipment. Equipped creature is flying. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. Sedgemoor Witch as our rare. She is 2 and a black for a 3/2 human warlock with menace. Ward, pay 3 life. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, create a 1 and 1 black green pest with the pest ability. Despark. White and a black for an instant. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. And we have a shiny Ardent Dust Speaker as our foil. You don't always get a foil, but when you do, it's nice. Alright, Killian. Quint, you're last. You made us wait. Alrighty. Yes, I'm sorting them real fast. Try to make this go faster. Okay. Red, black, blue, white, multicolor, green. Another Mercurial Transformation. Another Dueling Coach. Killian was hiding Quint. So we have 2 Quints now. But we also have Chalet, Dean of Radiance. You are so much stronger than you know. A white and a blue. Sorry, a 1 and a white for a flying vigilant bird cleric. Tap, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Or on the flip side, Embrose, Dean of Shadows. Killian, you were hiding your dad. 2 and a black for a 4/4 human warlock. Tap, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Then Embrose, Dean of Shadow, deals 2 damage to that creature. When a creature you control with +1/+1 counter on it dies, draw a card. His dad beats him. That's what his dad's special ability is getting beaten by his father. We got another Defiant Strike, another Twin Scroll Shaman. Quint, you're up. Now let's throw Dina in the pile. She can be next to her boyfriend. They're not actually dating. Nah, I'm not convinced. I've read the stories. It's real hard to tell me that they are not doing something. Spell, Lorehold Pledge Mage, Spiteful Squad, Introduction to Annihilation, Snow Day! 4 and a blue for an instant, tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures are untapped during controller's next untap step. Draw 2 cards, discard a card. Fun! Brackish Trudge. 2 and a black for a 4/2 Fungus Beast. It enters the battlefield tapped. 1 and a black, return it from the graveyard to your hand. Activate it only if you gain life this turn. I kind of like that they have these like weird trudge creatures. Those are neat. Prismari Apprentice. We did that one already. We got Velomachus Lorehold. We only pulled the 2 dragons I already had. Ugh. Okay, it's fine. He's 5 and a red-white for a 5/5 legendary Elder Dragon with Flying, Vigilance, and Haste. Whenever he attacks, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to his power from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. We got a Strategic Planning. 1 and a blue. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them in the hand, the rest in your graveyard. And a Maelstrom Muse in foil, which is the Djinn Wizard that... Oh, actually, we haven't gone over him yet. He is a 2/4 with flying. Whenever he attacks, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less to cast, where X is his power, as this ability resolved. That's actually very nice. We got another treasure. Alright, Quint, you get to hang out in the pile. We got some of the things we needed. That's good. Box 2. I should have started this sooner, because that box took us 2 hours. This box won't. Especially because what I'm probably going to be doing is just going straight to the rare and the uncommons on each of these. Alternatively, we save this box for another day, which I think may be the more prudent answer because it's already 10 and I have work in the morning. So, of course, if you want to make sure I don't have work in the morning, support me on Patreon and or give us a subscription here. But what I think we're going to do, I know we said we were going to do 2 boxes. We're going to save the second box for another day. I'm feeling Thursday might be the best day for that. No, probably not Thursday, actually. My mom will be here Thursday. And tomorrow I have D&D. Maybe Friday? Maybe Friday I'm working late. Worked late today. I don't know. Someday soon, we'll do this box. Maybe Saeed will be able to join me for that one. I know he's been wanting to. Alternatively, no, we went too long. It was 2 hours. I'm running out of steam. And it's important to keep track of your own personal health. So make sure you're following so you'll know when we go live again. Because there's a very good chance on Sunday I'll do a stream that's not Magic. Or sometime next week. I have a game I really want to do on here called Planet Crafter that I've really been digging, and I've been meaning to stream it, and I just haven't yet. But I think 1 box per stream is my limit at the moment. I am out of steam. Very much out of steam. So we are going to end it here, I believe, folks. We will come back later with the set booster box And perhaps in the future, we will bring in a a new set. I'm really looking forward to Brothers War. Brothers War looks like a very fun set. But for right now, we're focusing on Strixhaven so I can finish this cube. And then the other thing we're going to be doing, as far as Magic's concerned, is I've been setting up, I got a new camera. Oh, well, thank you for the following there, Wanderlusting82. I got a new camera. And with that new camera, I plan on doing some pack opening vids. I plan on doing some how to play D&D, how to play Pathfinder, how to play other RPG vids. Considering doing how to play Santa Soldiers as Christmas approaches. Very much hope so. It'll be great. And, yeah. Yeah, I am so out of Steam. And I have a bunch of Steam games I want to stream. One of the ones I really want to stream, I don't think my card can handle doing both that. The other one it can. So we're going to do Planet Crafter. Once Frere's better, we want to make Frere play some Japanese role-playing games against his will. I have some other plans that I'm discussing with some other people who you've seen on stream before, such as Frere, Saeed. Some people you haven't seen on stream before. Some people from other video platforms that I do collabs with. Of course, if you do want to watch my face more often, I am on TikTok over at tiktok.com/alchemyprime. We're going to finish this cube. We're going to put together what the Pokemon cube is going to take. That one's going to be a weird stream and a weird video. We're going to do the Crack-a-Pack cube. I'm going to have a stream of opening all those packs again, so you can see what we opened already. And then YouTube videos of each pack individually that we're adding to it. And then we're going to call in some folks. And make a draft out of all those Crack-a-Packs. So it's going to be fun. We're going to draft this cube. We're going to draft the other cubes. There's going to be a lot of cube drafts. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. And, yeah. Anyway, hope you all have a great evening. I will catch you all later. Make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing, etc. But for now, go to sleep. Go rest. Do what you need to do. Yeah.